You know what's happening here. You know what's going on. So, this is just to show them in the packaging as they are. I want to show first off these figures as they are, and then I'm going to have a video, one video based on one character, another video based on another character. So, be two parts that there will be, and take a look at. So, we're going to see the Shard King. Yeah, he's going to be cool. There are other figures I can collect, but these are the two I was most interested in seeing, taking a look at for the new Godzilla and Kong movie. That's going to be so cool. So, I wanted to take a look at them in box as they are. Just so you see them a little bit quickly. And then we will get to getting them open. And after we get them open, then we're gonna see and put them to the test. So meet me back here in a little bit. So I just opened up the Shard King. So this guy right here, he is the Shard King. So he looks pretty neat. Right out of the package, I already figured out that his arms are already pretty darn movable, and I was surprised how limber it already this was. Like even right here, it's like already feels like a noodle. That kind of makes me I like it and I don't like it because at first it makes it feel like, is this too fragile of it moving? And the other part of me goes, well, I like the fact that it's not at least stiff, because so many times you get stuff out of the package and it's like stiff as ever. So I'm gonna figure out what I like about this guy, what I don't like about this guy. So this Shard King, I figured out while getting out the packages out of there, the best thing to do as far as getting the packages out was to cut around. That's where you could cut kind of around like this, and you can get it out of the bottom. And that's basically the easiest way to open this up without, ripping through just a whole bunch of time-wasting garbage and whatnot. So that was the easiest way to get it out, instead of just ripping and tearing and shredding all the plastic whatnot right here. I started out doing that, but then it became easier once I actually just cut around and just kind of pulled them from the bottom out, and then decided to get the backside of the actual packaging and then cut all that stuff out so where the figure would come out. So this is Shard King. This is the guy we're looking at first. Kong and Godzilla return in an all-new venture, pitting against the almighty Kong and fearsome Godzilla against a colossal, undiscovered threat hidden within our world, challenging their very existence and our own. The Shard King with whiplash. I keep wanting to say whiplash. No, it's whiplash. The evil Shard King rules over his fury hollow kingdom, wielding a whiplash, and commands an unstoppable army to destroy Kong and Godzilla and conquer the world. Removable whiplash, fully articulate and posable. So that's all the deal on him. So already off the bat, I like the textures of it. I like the fact that I'm getting a nice orangutan type vibe from him. I don't know, maybe it's just this type of color almost is reminding me of the orangutan type fur that I would normally, I'm normally thinking about. Or maybe it's just the face. I don't know. But he definitely does look like a thinner type. If you compare him to King Kong, King Kong, he looks like he has more muscle on him and such. So he looks like he's already the more of the bulkier guy than Shard over here. So King Shard already looks thinner. So already that makes me wonder what type of villain he's going to be. If we look at the comparison here between these two guys, so that's kind of gives you a little bit of kind of stature look at. So it looks thinner, but he is a bit taller maybe. maybe a little bit, maybe about a centimeter or two. So they're going to be pretty close in height. Let's see what else about the Shark King I like and don't like. So that's kind of gives you a size comparison of that. And I have some of these smaller guys in the back to give you size comparison as well as how big this guy is. So he's like a little small Godzilla I have. And then here, back here is a big Godzilla I can compare him to if I need be, but I don't really feel as though that's not as necessary. Anyway, other than that, man, he's got some really long. That part of his arm is kind of long. Anyway, so he's got this whip that is supposed to be his. He's supposed to crank it in his hand. I always hate those toys that like say, oh yeah, you can put it in his hand, but yet you try to put it in the hand and it doesn't want to fit, and you're like, well, what's the point? I always hated that. Are you really supposed to put the jaw part in his hand? No! Okay, I picked that back. You're supposed to put the other part in his hand. I thought you were supposed to put the jaw part. That actually makes more sense. Okay, that fit a lot easier. So you put the part that's not the jaw in his in hand, and so now he's able to, go like all over the place with it. It mainly stays in a circle because the fact that that's the way the factory had it wrapped around him. So it's going to probably stay that way unless you actually, twist it and bend it around a little bit. Unless you, whatever you want to do with it. But it's pretty neat. It's basically, the whip is basically like all bendy, kind of a bendy wire. So that's actually a pretty neat. I think they were the right idea as far as if this is actually going to be some kind of whip in the movie, then they did the right thing as far as toy goes. Things I like about him articulate wise is, like I said, I like how already out of the package is very fluid. As far as his head goes, it's probably just because the way his back is, but he can't turn his head that well. So it gives off those awkward head turns, which, again, I can't blame them on the toy company. If his head is just, has an arching back, then what else can the toy company do? So I get you. I get that. I at least would have liked it if it was like on some kind of joint where he could look up at least, but this, I guess I'll deal with. And then also on top of that, this, oh my goodness, the ab crunch right there. How it spins around and how it goes, it's like that's pretty useful. I would give this figure more of a, I like him a lot. Oh, my average 7 out of 10. I don't want to give it 8 out of 10 because I had a Spider-Man figure when I was a kid, and that one I would give the 8 out of 10. This one more like the 7 out of 10 because I like a lot about him, but there's also a couple things that kind of make me not like him fully, so he's about average score. Only would recommend to Godzilla fans. If you don't like really Godzilla that much, then he's just an average kind of toy collection monkey kind of deal. Or ape. I don't know the difference. Anyway, so yeah, there's not as much to talk about this guy. I think he's going to be a very interesting villain in the film, and so there's Shark King, and I will meet you back to look at Shimu.